A small error in your AI model can lead to a big problem. A single line of flawed code biased data can create reputational damage that takes years to repair. A missing policy can halt a product launch right before it goes live. A weak testing process can allow critical faults to reach your customers, eroding trust, inviting regulatory scrutiny. These are the real risks of working with artificial intelligence. The speed of AI development. These risks can multiply quickly, often before a company even realizes the danger it is in. Without a structured way to manage these issues, a small oversight today can become a corporate crisis tomorrow. The remedy is a clear system. A system provides a framework for control. It records what was done when it was done, who did it. This creates a trail of evidence that is invaluable for troubleshooting and improvement. When problems do arise, a good system makes them easier to find and fix. You are not starting from scratch each time. You are following a known process. ISO 42001 is a standard that provides this kind of structure specifically for AI management systems. It is a roadmap to responsible AI. Using a standard like ISO 42001 clause by clause gives you a powerful tool. It breaks down the complex challenge of managing AI into smaller, manageable pieces. This guide will walk you through each key clause of the standard. For each one, you will learn what it means in practical terms for your company, your AI products. Clause 4 is about understanding the context of your organization. This means you must look both inside and outside your company. What are the internal issues that affect your AI systems? This could be your company's technical skills, your data infrastructure, your corporate culture. What are the external issues? New regulations, competitor activities, public perception of AI, technological advancements. Identify these issues. Understand how they can impact your AI management system's ability to achieve intended results. This is the bedrock of your entire system. Identify your interested parties and their needs. An interested party can be affected by, or perceive themselves to be affected by your AI activities. Small startup, customers, investors, employees, regulators, mid-size company additions, suppliers, local communities, industry associations. Document who these parties are and what they expect from you about AI. Customers expect a product that works reliably and fairly. Regulators expect compliance with data privacy laws. An auditor will ask for your context analysis. They will want a documented list of internal and external issues. They will look for a list of interested parties and their needs. They'll check this information is used elsewhere, especially in risk planning under Clause 6. It must be a live document that informs strategy, not a paper exercise once and forgotten. Auditors might interview top management about these contextual factors. Common nonconformity. No formal record of analyses.
Of course we know our customers' needs.
Another nonconformity. An outdated list missing a major AI regulation passed 6 months ago. To fix this, formalize the process. Hold a brainstorming session with key team members. Document findings in a simple table or report. Schedule regular reviews, annually or when major changes occur, to keep information current. Clause 5 is all about leadership. It states that top management must demonstrate commitment to the AI management system. This is not a passive role. Leaders must be actively involved. They are responsible for establishing the AI policy and objectives, which set the overall direction and goals for AI within the company. They must ensure that the AI management system is integrated into the company's core business processes, not treated as a separate, isolated function. This means AI governance becomes part of the normal way of doing business. Leadership must also ensure that the necessary resources are available. This includes funding for tools and technology, people with the right skills and enough time to do the work properly. Leaders are responsible for assigning roles, responsibilities, and authorities for the AI management system. Everyone should know who is responsible for what. For a small company, The CEO might also be the person directly responsible for the AI policy. In a larger organization, this might be a chief AI officer or a specific committee, but top management is still ultimately accountable for their work. An auditor verifies leadership commitment by looking for tangible evidence. They will interview senior executives and ask them to explain the AI policy and the company's AI objectives. They will look for the AI policy itself, a formal document signed and dated by a top leader. The auditor will examine management review minutes to see if AI system performance is a regular agenda item, and if leaders are making decisions and allocating resources based on these reviews. They will check organizational charts and role descriptions to see if responsibilities for the AI system are clearly defined and communicated. A typical nonconformity is a beautiful AI policy that no one knows about. It might be buried on the company intranet, but staff, and even some managers, are unaware of its existence or what it says. Clause 6 focuses on planning. Once you understand your context, Clause 4, and have leadership commitment, Clause 5, you must plan how to manage your AI system. A major part of this is addressing risks and opportunities. You must systematically identify risks related to your AI activities, bias in an algorithm, security vulnerabilities data, privacy breaches a model producing inaccurate results. You also need to identify opportunities, such as using AI to improve efficiency, create new products, gain a competitive advantage. Once risks and opportunities are identified, you must plan actions to address them. This is not just about making a list. It is about creating a concrete action plan. For each significant risk, you need to decide how you will treat it. Mitigate it by adding new controls. Avoid it by changing your process. Accept it if it is small enough. For each opportunity, how will you pursue it? This clause also requires you to set clear, measurable AI objectives. Reduce the bias in our loan approval model by 15% within 6 months. Achieve 99.9% uptime for our AI-powered customer service bot. An auditor will ask to see your risk and opportunity register. Show risk register table. This document should detail your analysis. They will check if the risks you identified logically connect to the context and interested party needs from Clause 4. The auditor will then look for your AI objectives and the plans to achieve them. Specific actions, assigned owners, deadlines, required resources. They are checking that your planning is thorough and systematic. A frequent nonconformity is having a list of risks with no corresponding actions. The company has identified that their AI model might be biased, but there is no plan in place to test for measure or mitigate that bias. Another common issue is having vague objectives like, improve our AI. This is not measurable. To fix this, you must create a formal risk treatment plan. For each risk, assign a specific action to a specific person with a due date. Your objectives must be SMART. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant. Clause 7 is about support. An AI management system cannot function without the right resources and infrastructure. This clause covers several key areas. First is resources, people, technology, financial backing. For a mid-sized company developing its own AI, this means hiring data scientists, providing powerful computing resources, and budgeting for specialized software tools. It is about ensuring the team has what it needs to succeed: competence, awareness, communication. People involved must have the right skills and knowledge, often achieved through training and experience. Everyone who could impact the AI system should have a general awareness of the AI policy. Finally, establish clear communication channels. Who needs to be told what, when, and how? Internal communication among teams. External communication with customers or regulators. When auditing Clause 7, an auditor will look at a variety of evidence. They will check training records. They might ask employees questions to gauge their awareness of the AI policy. For communication, they'll look for meeting minutes, email distribution lists, internal newsletters that discuss AI governance. To verify resources, they might review budgets, purchase orders for tools, organizational charts to see if key roles are filled. The auditor is trying to confirm the system is properly supported and not just a, paper system. A nonconformity could be a key data scientist leaving with no record of knowledge transfer or replacement plan. This represents a lack of competence management. Another example is outdated or difficult to find documents. Failure of documented information control. To fix these issues, you need to be systematic. Create a skills matrix to track employee competencies and identify training needs. Implement a simple document control system where documents have an owner, a version number, and a review date. Establish a regular AI governance newsletter or a dedicated communication channel to keep everyone informed. Clause 8. Operation is where the system comes to life. This is about the day-to-day work of building, deploying, and managing your AI systems according to the plans you made in Clause 6. It is the largest part of the standard and covers the entire AI lifecycle. This includes everything from data acquisition, data preparation model, building, verification, validation, deployment. Monitoring. You must have processes in place to control each stage. For example, you need a procedure for how you source data to ensure it is relevant and ethically obtained. This clause requires you to implement the controls you identified in your risk assessment. If you identified a risk of data poisoning, Clause 8 is where you implement the controls to prevent it. Data validation checks, access controls. This section also covers managing changes. If you need to update an AI model or change a data set, you must have a controlled process to manage that change to prevent unintended consequences. It also includes managing suppliers. Third-party AI platform data provider, you need a process to ensure they meet your requirements. An auditor will spend a lot of time in Clause 8. They will want to see your operational procedures in action. They will ask to see records from each stage of the AI lifecycle. A classic nonconformity is a deviation from the process. A developer might push a model update directly to production to fix a bug quickly, bypassing the required validation and testing steps. This is a major risk. Another example is using a new open-source library in a product without going through the approval process for third-party software. To fix this, you need robust procedures, clear procedures, practical procedures. More importantly, you need to train your staff on why these procedures are important. Implement technical controls where possible. Prevent direct deployment to production without a peer review. Prevent deployment without an automated test pass in your version control system. Clause 9 is about performance evaluation. It is not enough to just run the system. You must check if it is working effectively. This clause requires you to monitor, measure, analyze, evaluate your AI management system. Decide what you are going to measure. KPIs should be linked to your objectives. Objective: reduce model bias. KPI example: fairness metric tracked over time. Use data to understand how well you are doing. This clause mandates two activities: internal audits, management reviews. Internal audit - systematic self-check to see if you follow your rules. Check if the system meets ISO 42001 requirements. It's a friendly checkup to find problems early. Management review. Formal meeting of top leadership to review system performance. They look at monitoring internal audits, customer feedback, other inputs to make strategic decisions. Auditor will check Clause 9 by asking for performance data. They want to see charts, dashboards, reports you use to monitor AI systems. They will ask for your internal audit schedule, audit reports, and records of corrections from audit findings. They will ask for minutes from your management review meetings. They will scrutinize minutes to see what was discussed, what decisions were made, what actions were assigned. Evidence they want: active management and steering of the system. Common nonconformity: missed internal audits on schedule, or not auditing all parts of the system over time. Another issue: management review is presentation only. No evidence of review, no discussion, no decision-making. Minutes that say AI system reviewed, not enough. Fix: Create a formal internal audit program. Train auditors. Set a clear schedule. For management reviews, use a standard agenda covering required inputs. Record detailed minutes capturing decisions, action items, owners, due dates. This turns the review from a passive update into an active management tool. Clause 10 focuses on improvement, Clause 10 focuses on improvement, A good management system is not static. It evolves and gets better over time. This clause outlines the processes for making that happen. The first part is about handling nonconformities and taking corrective action. When something goes wrong, model fails, a process is not followed, an audit finds a problem, you must have a system to deal with it. This involves not just fixing the immediate problem, but also investigating the root cause and implementing corrective action. The second part of this clause is about continual improvement. The organization must actively look for opportunities to improve the suitability, adequacy, and effectiveness of the AI management system. This is the payoff for all the work you have done in the other clauses. The data from your monitoring Clause 9, the lessons from your operational experiences Clause 8, and the feedback from interested parties. Clause 4 all become fuel for improvement. It is about creating a learning organization that systematically gets better at managing its AI. An auditor will verify this clause by examining your nonconformity and corrective action records. They will pick a few examples and trace them from start to finish. They are checking to see if you have a disciplined process for problem solving. A very common nonconformity is having band-aid fixes. A problem occurs, the team fixes the symptom, but they never investigate the underlying cause. So the same problem happens again a few months later. This shows a lack of a proper corrective action process. Another nonconformity is having no evidence of proactive improvement. The system has remained unchanged since it was first implemented. To fix this, you need to train your team on simple root cause analysis techniques like the 5 whys. Create a simple form or log to track nonconformities and their resolution. Make opportunities for improvement a standing agenda item in your management review meetings to foster a culture of proactive enhancement. This process is not about creating bureaucracy. It is about building a foundation of trust and control. The goal is to make your operations more predictable, your products safer, and your business more resilient. By embracing a systematic approach, you turn risk into an opportunity for excellence. Auditing is the process of checking your system against the requirements of the standard. It is a fact-finding mission, not a fault-finding one. A simple way to approach an internal audit is to follow a clear, step-by-step method. The first step is to plan the audit. Decide which clauses of ISO 42001, which parts of your organization you will check. Create a simple checklist based on the standard's requirements. This will be your guide. Inform the people in the area you will be auditing, giving them a date, time, and the general scope of the audit. The second step is to conduct the audit. Start with a brief opening meeting to confirm the plan and introduce yourself. Then, begin gathering evidence. There are 3 main ways to do this. First, ask questions. Second, observe the work. Third, review records. Documents, logs, reports, data. Always collect objective evidence, facts, not opinions. For example, instead of writing, "Training seems poor," write, "Training record for employee X on procedure Y is missing." During the audit, take detailed notes. For each finding, whether it is good or bad, note the evidence. What did you see? What document did you review? Who did you talk to? What did they say? Be specific. If you find a potential nonconformity, make sure you can link it directly to a specific requirement in the ISO 42001 standard. For example, the AI impact assessment for Project Z was not completed before development started, which does not conform to subclause 8.2.3. This makes the finding clear, factual, and difficult to dispute. Finally, close the audit. Hold a short closing meeting to present your findings. Start by highlighting the positive things you saw. Then, clearly present the nonconformities and any opportunities for improvement you identified. Do not propose solutions during the audit. Your job is to identify the problems. The auditee is responsible for finding the root cause and proposing a corrective action. After the meeting, write a formal audit report that details your findings and the evidence for each one. This report becomes a critical input for Clause 10, improvement. Implementing a system like ISO 42001 can seem daunting, but it does not have to be. The key is to keep it practical and focused on your business. The first tip is to start small. You do not need to implement the entire system across your whole company at once. Pick one AI product. Pick one process as a pilot project. This lets you learn and make mistakes on a smaller scale. Create your templates. Test your procedures. Build your expertise in a controlled environment before rolling it out more widely. The second tip is to keep it simple. Avoid complex bureaucratic procedures and forms that no one will use. A simple one-page checklist is often more effective than a 50-page procedure. Use the tools you already have. If your team uses a project management tool, integrate your AI governance tasks into that platform. The goal is a system that helps people do their jobs better, not one that adds heavy administrative burden. The best system is one that is used every day because it is useful. A third vital tip is to make roles and responsibilities crystal clear. For every key task, conducting an impact assessment, reviewing a model's performance, someone must be named the owner. When people know what they are responsible for, things get done. An organizational chart, a responsibility matrix, RACI chart, can be incredibly effective. This clarity prevents tasks from falling through the cracks and ensures accountability. Finally, use the system to learn and improve. The true power of ISO 42001 is not in passing the certification audit, but in building a framework for continual improvement. Use your internal audits and management reviews as chances to reflect and learn. Celebrate successes. Analyze failures without blame. Fix root causes, not just symptoms. Then your AI management system becomes more than a certificate on the wall. It becomes a strategic asset that drives responsible innovation.